Hey, what's up? This is Diesel, and it's been a little while since I made a video, but I'm here. Before I get to my topic, I want to give a few shout outs. First off, rest in peace, Bruno Sammartino. What more can I say that has been said already? 8 years straight as champion. Took a little break and then had another 2 year reign. He is Mr. Madison Square Garden. Easily top three greatest baby faces of all time. Some say number one. I still cannot put him over Hulk Hogan and Stone Cold due to the fact of as big and as great as he was still regional. Austin and Hogan were big all over. Austin was so over that when he turned heel, people just said, okay, screw this. Not feeling that. I want to see him go bad guy. And Hogan, he did on a much larger scale worldwide. He made wrestling worldwide. Say RIP to Bruno Sammartino. Where would I rank him in greatest WWE champions of all time? Arguably number two. Arguably. Between him and Hogan, edge to Hogan still, but not by far. Second off, I'm going to announce a video I'm going to do in the near future. And I've been thinking about this one. And, people always talk about what if Sting came earlier in WWE. Some speculate he came in 2001, didn't. Some speculate he would have came in 2002. He almost did, but turned it down. He was supposed to face Kurt Angle. And some speculated 2005. I'm not sure if there's one 2006, but I know 2005. I know those people were questioning me coming in 2001, but didn't. He almost came in 2002. Almost came in 2005 and almost came in 2011. So he almost came on like a couple different occasions. So what I decided to do is I'm going to make a future video talking about what if booking if Sting came to WWE in the mid 2000s. So right now it's still in the works. I have all of 2005 finished, all of it. I have up until New Year's Resolution 2006. Even Survivor Series 2005, I'm still kind of trying to figure out, what I'm going to do because I'm still trying to figure out, when is a good time to do Sting versus Shawn Michaels. Taker versus Sting, like, I got to be downright stupid to not book that. And, like, come on, that's inevitable. How he debuted. But I have all of 2005 completely done to New Year's resolution. So now I'm trying to figure out the rest of 2006. And I'm trying to figure out how far I'm going to go with this because also, too, I have to take real life events into occurrence. So basically, the injuries that happen in real life, I have to take in. I'm not going to do what if he gets injured. End of the day, anything can happen. It's wrestling, but and what was one last thing? But yeah, real life injuries stay how it is, and who was on Raw, who was on SmackDown is how it is, like it was in real life. So yeah, Sting WWE run in the mid 2000s is on its way. I'm not going to say when, but it's coming. Now onto the list of top 10 wrestlers who fit into other eras. I decided to use every wrestler once because, okay, I could have put Dynamite Kid on here several times, Sting on here several times, Daniel Bryan on here several times. So I decided to only use every wrestler on the list once. There will be a part 2 to this. Coming in at number 10, Brock Lesnar and ECW. You already know the relationship with Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman. I feel that could work in ECW. I feel Brock Lesnar as a character would develop much better in ECW. See, the ring skills and his strength, helped him get over in WWE. So we're in ECW, but I'm talking about as a character, talking like who you saw in UFC and the 2010s run of Brock Lesnar. I think would be amazing for ECW. He can be himself. He doesn't have to limit himself. There's one problem I feel that kind of hurts him in WWE, which I feel always has hurt him, is being censored and the fact that he can't go around cussing all the time. I feel even from day one, if Brock Lesnar were to go around and cuss and say what he wants to, either he'd develop better or he'd probably be good from day one. But I'd at least say he would develop better and he'd be a perfect monster badass heel. Probably be, who knows, maybe the ECW version of Scott Steiner. And hell, look at Scott Steiner in ECW, what that did for him when he became Big Papa Pump at ECW. Kick his ass. But yeah, Brock Lesnar, ECW, he'd be perfect. And I think also too, he'd be one of those guys. He'd probably be so great as a heel that he turns into a babyface, kind of like Taz. But at the same time, though, Dudley Boys are great heels, and they never turn babyface in ECW. So, but still, ECW would have been a perfect fit for Brock Lesnar, especially Heyman knows to do with him in WWE. So just imagine what he'd do with him in ECW. Just imagine Brock Lesnar versus RVD in ECW. They already had like some great stuff in WWE. Just imagine friggin' Brock Lesnar versus Taz. Oh my goodness. Brock Lesnar versus Bam Bam Bigelow, especially Brock Lesnar versus Taz in his prime. That would be something right there. But Brock Lesnar, maybe versus Rhino, but the problem is they're both heels. So, but yeah. Coming number 9, Dean Malenko for the 2000s, especially the mid 2000s ROH. Retired in 2001. See, Dean Malenko's a case where he's a guy you wish he was just 5 years younger. If he was 5 years younger, just imagine what he'd do in ROH. And remember, Daniel Bryan says that's his favorite wrestler of all time. So just imagine Dean Malenko versus friggin' Bryan Danielson versus what's that guy's name again? Shoot. The guy part of American Wolves, Davey Richards. Just imagine Dean Malenko versus Davey Richards, CM Punk, El Generico, but especially just imagine Dean Malenko versus Bryan Danielson alone. Oh my goodness. Next up, number 8, Dean Ambrose and ECW. John Moxley days, even when Dean Ambrose was kind of at the peak of his character in WWE a few years ago. Him and ECW, what more can I say? Coming in at number 7, Bryan Danielson in the WCW Cruiserweight Division, 96-98. Just look at him at ROH having all those 5-star matches. And now just imagine. First off, him versus Dean Malenko. Then him versus Eddie Guerrero. I don't know which one I'd want to see more between Bryan Danielson versus Eddie Guerrero, Bryan Danielson versus Dean Malenko. They'd be both amazing. I think that would probably be the best match of Dean Malenko's career. Bryan Danielson versus Rey Mysterio. They had good matches in WWE, but just imagine Bryan Danielson versus Rey Mysterio at his speed athletic peak. Bryan Danielson versus Chris Jericho. Bryan Danielson versus Chris Benoit. Who else? Bryan Danielson versus Ultimo Dragon. Holy crap. He'd probably be the greatest cruiserweight champion of all time. And also, too, picture Bryan Danielson versus, even though Bret Hart was not a cruiserweight, but so you have a match with him, Bryan Danielson versus Bret Hart in 1998. Hell, probably stick around 1999. But I will say, unfortunately, when Bret Hart was there, he didn't wrestle Chris Jericho nor Eddie Guerrero, which was just such a disappointment. You had those two there for about a year and a half, and he didn't do it. Dean Malenko and Bret Hart wrestled, but that was a massive letdown. Kind of a year too late, one or 2 years too late. But yeah, Bryan Danielson in the cruiserweight division, arguably the greatest cruiserweight champion of all time. And coming in at number 6, Great Malenko in the new, Great Muta in the new generation. Look at the match he had with Hulk Hogan in 1993 at New Japan Pro Wrestling, or All Japan Pro Wrestling, whichever Japan company. Great match, though. That's the point. Great match. Arguably Hogan's best match. Arguably, who knows? Maybe seen that match with Randy Savage, but I feel it could be arguably Hogan's best match. Like, if you want to see Hogan with great in-ring skills, go watch him in Japan and watch this match specifically. And this match convinced me Hogan at that year SummerSlam '93 could have had a 5-star match with Bret Hart. But anywho, Great Muta in the new generation. If I remember correctly, 93 he still's in his prime for sure. 94 maybe he still was. But just imagine Great Muta versus Bret Hart, Undertaker. Bret Hart and Undertaker especially. Those two. Especially the Undertaker more. Like for this time period, the Undertaker would be the perfect guy for him to feud with. Great Muta versus Undertaker is one of Undertaker's biggest dream match of his career, and I'd say this would be a perfect matchup going back to 1992, in my opinion. But yeah, new generation, Undertaker, Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels for sure. Fuck, I forget that guy, the Asian guy's name, who had the little Asian paintings all over his face. So had a little underrated match with Bret Hart. Who else? Owen Hart would be amazing. British Bulldog. 1-2-3 Kid. I think him and Razor Ramon could have a little underrated something. Vader versus Great Muta would have been great. If he still stayed there to 96. Muta versus Stone Cold, I think would have been nice. I wonder, would Muta be a babyface or a heel? I think he'd be a great heel in WWF during that time period. But yeah, sad, great Muta never wrestled for WWF during the time period. That would have been tailor-made for him. Now for the top 5. CM Punk coming at number 5. CM Punk and ECW. Look at him at ROH. Look at him when he cut that pipe bomb. Tell me that's not perfect for ECW. That's all I gotta say. Coming in at number 4, Dynamite Kid in the new generation. This is another example of a great career cut short. This era was tailor-made for him. The 90s in general, up until, let's say, in-ring work, the mid 90s. But yeah. New Generation, that was for Dynamite Kid again. Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels, 1, 2, 3 Kid, Owen Hart. Who knows? Maybe the British Bulldogs reunite and I guess bring a little more prestigious back to the tag team division because they didn't have much tag teams. All these great matches they're having at that time period. I would say that 94, when Bret Hart had shit on lock, Shawn Michaels was really becoming a showstopper. Owen Hart was at his peak. Razor Ramon, Scott Hall was at his peak. Diesel, if you put him in the right guy, was having good matches. But yeah, this time period would have been great for him, and I feel would have made him a little bit bigger of a star. The unfortunate part for him is he can't talk to save his life. But his in-ring skills, though, oh my gosh. Now on to my top three. Coming in at number 3, Stone Cold Steve Austin in the 80s for the whole NWA with mainly Jim Crockett Promotions and WCCW. WCCW was considered the Attitude Era of the 80s, and the Jim Crockett production, as good as WWE was, JCP was kind of more badass than WWF. Gotta say that. Like, I've kind of argued, let's say, with the mentality I have now, like, growing up in the hood, liking hood movies, or liking one to ghetto ignorant stuff, not gonna lie. If I were to put myself back in the 80s, especially when I was a kid, same time, you grow up different, but putting my mentality where I was my whole life and putting that in the mid 80s, who do I think I would have liked better between Jim Crock Productions and WWF? I honestly feel Jim Crock Productions. Dusty Rhodes, Ric Flair, the Four Horsemen. Austin would have fit in perfect with all of that. I think it would have been a great for heel and babyface. Dusty versus heel Austin would have been awesome. Those promos back and forth, Jesus Christ. Babyface Stone Cold against Ric Flair would have been amazing. And let's go to WCCW. Heel Stone Cold versus the Von Erichs would have really been gold. Babyface Stone Cold versus the Fabulous Freebird, especially Michael Hayes, would have been amazing. Stone Cold was perfect for the 80s. And also Stone Cold versus Dr. D. Dave Schultz, one of, if not his maybe his biggest idol for his character, the original Stone Cold. That would have really been something, but who knows? That probably would have been a little too much for mid 80s kid friendly WWF there. Ugh. Yeah. Coming at number 2, number 1 and number 2, no real order. You can put one of the other, but so I wrote it. So Kurt Angle in the New Generation era. Just imagine, let's say Angle's a couple of years older, and went to New Generation, got training a lot earlier, and broke out during this New Generation Bret Hart era. Kurt Angle versus Bret Hart. What more can I say? That's just like a dream come true. That could have been the Ric Flair versus Ricky Steamboat of that time period. Kurt Angle versus Prime Shawn Michaels. Oh my gosh. Kurt Angle versus Owen Hart. They wrestled one time in 1999, but just imagine what a polished Kurt Angle would do with a peak Owen Hart. Kurt Angle versus 1, 2, 3 Kid, I really felt could have been something. Kurt Angle versus British Bulldog in his prime would have really been something. Um, that I feel Kurt Angle. How could I forget this? And Kurt Angle versus Bob Backlund. Oh, I think they could have had a 5-star class like Bob Backlund did with Bret the Hitman Hart. I really feel so. Kurt could have definitely been WWE champion during this time period, for sure, unless Shawn Michaels played politics. But yeah, but at the same time, Kurt Angle would break their fucking ankles. But yeah, that would have been perfect. Taste God. What about Bruiser Brody and Haku in the original ECW, along the likes of New Jack, Sandman, Raven, and RVD, etc. Bruiser Brody, you know what? Thank you for reminding me. Definitely put him on a future list because remember, like I said, I got a part 2 to this because I just want to use every wrestler at least once. But Bruiser Brody in ECW, hell yes. Hell yes. Like I've always said before, I don't know if I said this like on video, but one thing I'll say now is Bruiser Brody did die too early because he would have been perfect for the original ECW. I'll be honest with you, Bruiser Brody's attitude, he kind of did bring his death upon himself. I'm just saying. Even one of the biggest badasses in history, right on my number 2 behind Haku, he was the second biggest badass of all time. And he said himself how he had to straighten up Bruiser Brody in the ring one time and like held him on the floor and hold his, hey, listen, if you want to take this further, I'll break your leg right now. And Bruiser Brody had to humble himself because, you know, Harley Race is Harley Race. And Harley Race said, like, yo, if you keep with your attitude in Puerto Rico, you know somebody's going to do something, right? Not his exact words, but he just let him know, yo, watch yourself. Something's going to happen to you. And it did. Not saying I wish that on Bruiser Brody, but at the same time, you know, Bruiser Brody kind of was a wild dickhead maniac. I'm just saying. But had he been alive, the original ECW would have been his home. That would have been perfect for him. But coming in at number 1, Bret Hart in the Ruthless Aggression era. See, Bret Hart is another case of either you wish he was 5 years younger or you just wish the injuries didn't catch up to him. Because, okay, look, give me a second. Let's see how old Bret Hart was in 2002. Okay, so Bret Hart was born 1957. 2002 minus 1957. So he was 45. What's it called when in by 2002? I'll say this. Shawn was 45 at WrestleMania 20. WrestleMania retire. At WrestleMania 26. So had the injuries not caught up to Bret Hart, who knows? But at the same time, he did do a lot of abuse to his body and he took almost no days off. He was the face of the company. Shawn had at least 4 years off. And, you know, he was on drugs at a point, almost lost his life. And he had to really mature up. And he didn't mature till about late 2001 to 2002. So it took like Shawn to go through some things in life to realize, okay, I need to, and he got time off because if Shawn really, really, really wanted to, he could already return in 1999. But true, it's his attitude and abuse to drugs why he didn't come back as soon as he did. Because by WrestleMania 17, dude was such a dickbag that Triple H had to cut him off. But yeah, Bret Hart would have been 45 in 2002. So who knows? Definitely couldn't do the suicide dive, that's for sure. But at the same time, Bret Hart, no. How his body was breaking down, it wouldn't make any sense to. Undertaker didn't do a suicide dive in his mid to late 40s, but just two different people, and Bret Hart was the face of the company, and that's some real pressure on you and all that stress and whatnot. But let's go with more wishing Bret Hart was 5 years younger. So you still would have been 40 by then if he was 5 years younger. But let's go by that. Just imagine if, oh my God, Bret Hart and the Ruthless Aggression era. So let's say he had more matches with Chris Benoit, wrestled Kurt Angle, wrestled more matches with Shawn Michaels, wrestled more matches with Triple H, maybe more matches with Undertaker, wrestled Rey Mysterio. That would have really been something. Wrestled Eddie Guerrero, Brock Lesnar. Who else? Who else? Who else? I wouldn't mind to see him with Ultimate Dragon. Again, kind of sad he didn't wrestle some of those cruiserweights back in 98, 99. Very unfortunate. But let's nine people. Who else would I have loved to see him tango with? Some more matches with The Rock. Who else? Him and Kane would have been really nice because remember, it goes back to 95 when Bret Hart gave Isaac Yankem a very good match for his green standards at that point. So him versus a polished Kane would have been awesome. More match with Booker T would have been great. Shoot, so many names. Who else? Oh, Bret Hart versus RVD, Bret Hart versus Edge, Bret Hart versus Christian, Bret Hart versus Lance Storm. COS said it's kind of a toss-up with Kurt Angle and Bret Hart. Nah, I rethought about that. Bret Hart's definitely number one. All those wrestlers I named, Bret Hart is definitely number one. Definitely. And best of all, you got to do Bret Hart versus Mr. McMahon. Revenge of the Montreal Screwjob. But yeah, those are my top 10 wrestlers who'd fit in other eras. You guys tell me some wrestlers who you think would be perfect with other eras. And tell me who you agree with, disagree with. Like, subscribe, comment on my video, give me your opinion. And I'm going to remind you guys again, I'm not saying when, but eventually, bookings. But yeah, give me your feedback, guys.